Carlos Mendoza said that he understands the emotion, but that particular action of throwing your glove into the stands was unacceptable. Looking back on it, do you regret doing that?
No. No, I don't regret it. I think I've been looking the worst teammate probably in the whole MLB.
Listen, all we want is for athletes to be real, and that was the realest we could possibly get.
This is Sportscentre.
Hey, I'm Marissa Roberto, and we're back at F1, the exhibition in Toronto once again. If you have not had an opportunity to get down here yet and see this baby, you absolutely must. It's at the Lighthouse Art Space in Toronto. And you can get your tickets now at f1exhibition.ca. But let's start on the ice, because just like that, we got ourselves a series. The Oilers avoided falling behind 3-1 and showed some heart in a gritty comeback as they were down 2-0 halfway in the first period. But 5 unanswered goals showed what this team can really be. Now, yesterday on the show, we mentioned how Connor McDavid might be playing the biggest game of his career, and he stepped up with 3 assists. And he now has an impressive 28 points through 16 games. That type of offense is rare, as it's just the 6th time a player has that many points through the first 16 games of a playoff run. Among those on the list are players like Wayne Gretzky, Mario Lemieux, and Dennis Savard. Kind of a top-tier list, no? Also on that list, though, is teammate Leon Draisaitl and McDavid himself, as the pair both accomplished the feat in the 2022 playoffs. Even though McDavid has had this kind of scoring output before, he has not been in the same position he has been today, as through 16 games in 2022, the Oilers had already been eliminated. While lots went wrong in that Western Conference final, goaltending was one of the biggest ones, as Mike Smith allowed 19 goals in the 4-game sweep. But it's been a much different story this year, as Stuart Skinner bounced back last night and has had much more success through the first 4 games of this series, compared to Smith in the 2022 sweep. Both McDavid's offense and Skinner's goaltending have helped the Oilers even things up at 2 apiece, and the series now shifts back to Dallas. While home ice often plays a big factor in the playoffs, it might not make as big of an impact on this series. The Oilers were among the best home teams in the regular season, but struggled away from home. But that has been a much different story in the playoffs, as the Oilers have the same record on both home and away games. Looking at the hosts of Game 5 and 7, though, the Stars actually have a losing record at home in the postseason, winning just 4 of 9 games. The Oilers are certainly hoping this trend continues if they want to reach their first Stanley Cup final since 2006. Listen, as someone without a dog in this race, you know this is a good time. To the association for the second time in 3 days, the Minnesota Timberwolves are on the brink of elimination. Many really showed up in Game 4, especially Anthony Edwards and Karl-Anthony Towns. Edwards dropped 29 and was just a dime shy of a triple-double, while Cat had his best game of the series so far, dropping 25 and was 4 of 5 beyond the arc. But do the T-Wolves really have a shot in this series? Well, the people of FanDuel do not seem to think so, as Dallas are still heavy favorites. But if Minnie takes tonight, it feels like this thing could have legs. History is not on their side, though, as teams who are up 3-1 in a best of 7 are 258 and 13 all-time. That's a 95.2 win percentage. But this type of comeback has been a little more probable of late. It happened twice in the bubble in 2020, and we all remember the greatest 3-1 comeback in NBA history, when LeBron and the Cavs came back on Golden State to win the 2016 title, and gave us the greatest block in NBA history. Who doesn't love dogs in stadiums? And now for my favorite segment and yours, that we love sports today.
Why we love sports today.
The New York Red Bulls held Bark Night last night for their game against Charlotte. And yeah, it was just as great as you can imagine. Oh, there's a big boy. Oh my goodness. The thing about Bark Night, or just a dog night at any kind of stadium or ballpark, is that there is pee everywhere. It's just inevitable. Okay, this next video is just as outrageous, so let's give it a watch. I'm sorry, the landing backwards and then still pulling off another flip was absolutely wild. Okay, let's go back to hockey, but talk the Memorial Cup, because the London Knights took on the Saginaw Spirit in a pivotal game last night. Both teams entered the game undefeated, meaning the winner would have a bye to the Memorial Cup final. And it was all tied up until Leafs prospect Easton Cowans did this.
Here goes Cowan, and he scores! Cowan comes through for London!
That was so casual, it was filthy. Cowan would add an empty netter, finish the game with 3 points, and named the game's first star. But what he's done in this round robin play has been pretty impressive, as he has 5 points in just 3 games, which is a pace that's nothing new for him, as he's been an over 1.5 points per game player all year. What's even more impressive is how consistent his scoring has been. In his last 57 games, he only has 3 games without a point. 57 games, 3 games without a point. That, I don't know, that's something. With all that scoring, it's no wonder the Knights went 3-0 in round-robin play, and are now just one win away from their first Memorial Cup since 2016. The finals are set for Sunday, but before then, Saginaw will take on Moose Jaw in the semis, with the winner taking on London in the finals. Saginaw took care of business against Moose Jaw in the round-robin game, so we're looking for a similar result tomorrow. And you can watch the Memorial Cup semifinals tomorrow on TSN, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. As good as that Cowan goal was it the best thing we saw last night? Of course not. It was the Craig Button scouting report of my Kujina, Julia Teixeira.
It starts with just incredible poise. Look at that poise. Calm, cool, collected, great smile, under control. And you talk about walking the line. I mean, she walks that line with precision, and she's very elusive, not getting hit by anybody, leaning into the interviews, making sure the players can hear. There, look at that stride, being able to exit. But why is she exiting? I'll tell you why she's exiting. Because she has to be adaptable and flexible, changing outfits as the game goes on, from her pregame look to her in-game look to her post-game look. Tell you what, Julia, you have been outstanding in this tournament today.
Top marks. Guys, that was the best scouting report I think I could ever dream of.
I just thought it was such a touching moment, okay? My Kujins, my uncle, they're just together on camera. He's given the sweetest scouting report I've ever seen. It's true, she is good out there on the skates. It's wrong with that. Do this. I need dogs. Where my dog's at. Okay, this is a dog-themed episode of Digital Sportscentre.
Good night.
It's wrong with that.
Darling.
The countdown is on. We are just 9 days away from Mr. 305, aka Mr. International, aka Mr. Worldwide. That's right, Pitbull in Montreal on race weekend. Saturday, June 8th, the day before the Canadian Grand Prix, Pitbull headlines a podium concert presented by Google Pixel, featuring top DJs, tons of interactive activities, and so much more. It all takes place at Parc Jean Drapeau, just steps away from Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. You can get your tickets at eventco.ca. So in honor of Pitbull, here is a very special Rissers rankings. My favorite dogs in music. Starting off at number 5 is Lil Bow Wow. I mean, it was Lil Bow Wow in my day. I guess he's just Bow Wow now. Now at number 4, if you're listening to a great hip-hop song, chances are Nate Dogg did the hook. Regulators mount up. At number 3, I gotta have a little bias here with Sasky, because we got the sheepdogs. And at number 2, we gotta go with Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg can do everything, okay? Not just in the music scene. I'm talking about commentating. I'm talking about baking, okay? Several kinds of baking. And at number 1, because I'm a corporate shill and we're actually promoting this, also it's going down, I'm yelling timber. We gotta go Pitbull. And before we go, we just want to thank our friends at F1 The Exhibition in Toronto, who have been so fantastic to us over the last month or so. Once again, you have to come down here, okay? You cannot miss this. This is only here for a limited time. If you're a fan of F1 in any capacity, come down here, you will enjoy yourself. You can get your tickets now at f1exhibition.ca. That's all for today. We're Bigger North Eastern New Pacific. Have a good one.